My name is Purge and I approve the content in this video.
Hey guys, this is Sunsfan and welcome to the official Dotacinema guide to Naga Siren. If you aren't familiar with this hero, you may want to watch the introduction we did for her at the corresponding link. Naga Siren is an agility hero with a lot of pushing power as well as great carry potential. She's been known to shut down certain heroes who are very difficult to control, while also having one of the most annoying ultimates in the game. Ensnare is the first skill to be picked up as it's a great way to start a first blood attempt, but can also be used if you're the early target. After this, you'll want to max Riptide by 7. This is the spell that will give you some sort of lane presence, and is really the staple skill in any tri-lane, team fight, or gank attempt. At 4, it's probably a good idea to get one level of Mirror Image. It's a very useful spell to confuse your enemy, but can be a great way to harass in combination with Riptide. Your ultimate, Song of the Siren, is to be skilled at the standard 6, 11, and 16. Not too much to talk about here other than that the only thing that changes by leveling it is the cooldown, but by level 16 it becomes a seemingly way too fast 60 seconds. After 7 you have a choice of maxing either Ensnare or Mirror Image next. We're going to say that Ensnare is almost always a better choice since it's very consistent. It scales from 2 seconds at level 1 to a whopping 5 at level 4. This means maxing Mirror Image last, which does make sense since it mostly scales based on how much farm you have. Your goal is to farm a lot in lane, and since your enemy is probably aware of this, then it's going to be a good idea to start with your basic health regeneration, Iron Branches for an eventual wand, and a stout shield. For boots, we recommend Arcane, which isn't the most common for agility carries, but getting these will increase your mana pool and allow you to spam your spells to your heart's content. If you're not looking to spam spells, and you're looking for a little bit more tankiness, then Power Treads will work decently as well. But the first main item you're going to go for is a Vanguard. This should give you enough tankability to survive in early and mid stages, and is another reason you don't necessarily need treads. Into the mid-game core items, you need to make a choice of what type of game you intend to play. If you're content with farming and just want to increase it exponentially, then purchase a Radiance. If you're expecting to be involved in teamfights and want to be a little bit more helpful, then a Diffusal Blade will work wonders as well. Technically it's fine to get both of these items, but if you intend to do this, it's usually a better idea to start with the Radiance. After your core items are complete, your choices become a little bit broader. A Manta is an excellent item since who doesn't want more illusions? Past that, if tankiness is something you covet, then a Heart of Tarask will fit your needs. Or is there an opposing carry whose right clicks you fear? A Butterfly could help in that situation. Even an Assault Cuirass will synergize nicely with you. The negative armor will stack with the effects of the Riptide and will help you push with your illusions even faster. If damage is all you care about, then go for a Daedalus, since the critical strike will proc with your images. Lastly, I feel we always have to mention an item that's a little bit more odd to see, but a Blink Dagger could potentially be viable if your team doesn't have the greatest initiation. You can blink in, use your ult, and position yourself properly to win the fight. This may seem like a farm-only hero, and, well, it can be, but her teamfight presence is so good that you should not ignore this. First and foremost, Ensnare is extremely good throughout the game. It's one of the main reasons Naga is picked against mobile heroes like Anti-Mage and Lycan. Also remember that the Ensnare itself will stop channeling abilities and go through BKB, so you'll always have a way to stop that Enigma black hole. The reason Riptide is really good is because of the damage and negative armor coming out with it, but it really starts to shine when you have images of some kind. In lane, you can be last hitting creeps while you send an illusion towards the enemy. It's a guaranteed nuke without having to put yourself in a horrible position. If you get a Radiance on top of that, then it's almost unfair. The common strategy is to just position your illusions in several neutral camps and then hit Riptide. All you have to do is wait for the Radiance to finish them off. That is some easy farming. Now focusing on your illusions, they make your DPS so much more ridiculous when you have a Diffusal Blade, which much like a Radiance or Daedalus will proc as normal. And remember, when you cast Mirror Image, you not only will get rid of many debuffs, but you will also have a small window of opportunity to dodge attacks and spells. But the spell we haven't really touched on much is Song of the Siren, which is really quite ridiculous when you look at what it can offer. If used offensively, you can set up an efficient team fight. If used defensively, you can just run away from a terrible situation with the rest of your team very easily. The fact that you push so well by yourself is already strong, but add the fact that you can get away unscathed every time makes it just plain insane. But at the same time, and as I'm sure you're all well aware, the biggest fails can occur if the spell is not used properly, or if you're not communicating with your team. Because remember, the units slept are invulnerable. This means you cannot touch them. But of course you can always deactivate it earlier, if need be, so there's always that failsafe. Either way though, at level 3 it's a 60-second cooldown, so if wasted it's usually not that big of a deal. Friends of Naga are teamfight heroes who don't have their Blink Dagger yet. This would include the likes of Enigma, Sand King, and Tidehunter, to name a few. Add Darkseer into that mix as well, since his teamfight prowess is quite high. Also, any minus armor hero could work well with Naga as well, since that mechanic stacks. A couple of examples of this are Slardar and Shadow Fiend. A special mention must go out to Dazzle though, whose Shadow Wave can deal so much damage when your illusions are in play. The reason Naga gets a Vanguard is because she's quite squishy, so that means heroes with burst damage could decimate her. Examples of this include Lion, Lina, and Zeus. Earthshaker is also a great way to counter Naga, since Echo Slam will be helped by the amount of illusions you have on the field. Also, a very, very special mention goes to Templar Assassin because of her Psyblades. The way they work is they deal pure damage to the units in line from where she attacks. Now, the catch here is that Naga's illusions take anywhere between 300 and 600% extra damage based on their level. In other words, this means if you're not careful, you could get one shot. Thanks for watching, and please remember to subscribe to our YouTube. Also, a big thanks to Flawless and Purge for their help in writing this guide. You can check out their awesome channels in the video description. Also, be sure to visit our website at dotacinema.com and visit our Facebook at facebook.com/dotacinema.